All right, you guys, happy Monday to everyone except for the occult Freemasons who sacrifice people, who murder people. I do have to say today is a great day to be Candace Owens. It's a great day also to be a Candace Owens podcast listener because back in November, I was telling you guys that France was in fact involved in Charlie Kirk's assassination, specifically that their intelligence agency, also known as DGSE, was involved. I also told you that in the military, they wear maroon. Like it's the military parachutists. They wear maroon. And that the whole 33 thing was not subtle. It was Freemasonry. Well, lo and behold, ladies and gentlemen, 22 people in France are on trial for running a Freemason military hit squad. And the story is related to Israel. I promise you, that is what is trending today in the news. You see, it's all crazy until you understand how the world actually works. You do not live in a meritocracy, okay? You do not live in a meritocracy. These people murder and they steal and they kill. And I got to tell you, regarding Freemasonry, all roads lead to France and Israel. Welcome back to Candace. I'm really just on it, guys. I don't know what to say. I'm just so good at puzzles. I'm so good at puzzles. And look, I get it. A global Freemasonic cult of military assassins. On the surface, maybe it sounds a little out there, a little unhinged, but that's only if you are not paying attention to real world history. Unless you have to wake up, okay? America was, in fact, founded by warring factions of Freemasons. Freemasons pursued America in the hopes of establishing a new Atlantis, which was going to be removed from their battles with the Catholic Empire, who were kind of burning these Freemasonic psychos at the stake, as they should have done. Now, even if you didn't know all of that, you probably at least understood or thought that it was strange. You know, your senses maybe started tingling immediately following Charlie's assassination when virtually nothing they were telling us made any sense. And all of the leaders who were communicating to us just felt the need to keep saying 33. Take a listen.
And that was about, I think it was like 33 minutes before he was killed.
Charlie Kirk was assassinated at UVU in the afternoon. About a 33-hour manhunt ensued.
Bad stuff happens. For 33 hours, I was praying that if this had to happen here, that it wouldn't be one of us.
In 33 hours, we have made historic progress for Charlie.
Yeah, we get it. 33. Look, it is, in my educated opinion, the most obvious signaling ever, alerting those that are in the cult that this was a hit that was done by the cult and for the cult. Now, never mind that out of all of the Freemason lodges in the world, every Freemason lodge has a number associated with it. The one that is in St. George, Utah, which is where Tyler Robinson was brought in, is lodge number 33. Okay, 33 also being the country code for Paris. Now, Americans are not used to the discussion about Freemasonry, so this all felt very new, and I feel like people weren't really ready to have this conversation because we go to public school, we're told, like Paul Revere, they don't tell you that he was like a Rosicrucian Freemason, but he was like, the British are coming. He actually never actually said that either, but that's the reality. The founding fathers were all Freemasons working on international orders. I'm sorry if that doesn't sound like rah, 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 USA. But we have to wake up to this because you have to understand how this country came together and how things have been functioning since. You have to understand internationally what has been going on. And when we are speaking about 33rd degree Freemasons, we are not talking about your grandfather's Freemason group. Well, they got together, they did nice things, they did things for charity. No. We are talking about the highest rank of Freemasons, and 33rd degree in particular is the Scottish Rite Freemasonry, okay? And this part is really important. I actually only recently learned this thanks to my book club. If you were in my book club, you would know this. But the Scottish Rite Freemasonry actually originated in France, okay? It was after Jacques de Molay, we would say Jack de Molay, was hung or burned at the stake because the French king was looking at what the Knights Templar were doing, and the Pope had dissolved the Freemason group because they were accused of worshiping Baal worship, doing all sorts of weird sexual rites. All the stuff that we are establishing today is actually happening with the elites. Jeffrey Epstein type stuff was going on. This has been going on for a very, very long time. And so they left France and they went into Scotland and they fought for Robert the Bruce, and eventually this ends up in America. That's the short and thick version. You should join the book club. It's fascinating. So this article today was definitely something. The French AP broke it. They broke the story regarding a trial that is taking place where the quote-unquote Freemason Lodge Mafia is facing charges for attempted murder. Oh, the Freemason Mafia. I feel like that's global. Let's read from this article, which came out in The Guardian, because it's just peachy, okay? It reads, quote, 22 people have gone on trial in France on charges of murder and other serious crimes centered on a Masonic lodge accused of running hit squads. 13 defendants, including former intelligence agents, soldiers, and businessmen, face possible life sentences. Prosecutors allege that the group carried out murder, attempted murder, aggravated assault, and criminal conspiracy on behalf of a mafia network inside the Athenor Lodge in the Paris suburb of Puteaux. At least 4 Freemasons from the lodge's roughly 20 members are among those in the dock. Other defendants include 4 officers from France's DGSE Foreign Intelligence Service, 3 police officers, 6 executives, a security guard, a doctor, an engineer. Most of the accused, whose ages range from 30 to 73, have no previous criminal record. You mean to tell me upstanding businessmen in society could be accused of murder and coordinating murders? What? Oh, I'm so offended. No, there's no way. What do you mean billionaires don't do these sorts of, millionaires don't do these sorts of things? Yeah, they do. That's sometimes how they become billionaires and stay billionaires, because they murder people. Gotta wake up to that. Oh, wait, what? They're saying the French Foreign Legion and the military was involved in murder for hire? You don't say. You know what I'm wondering? I'm wondering if there were any Maroon boys involved in this one. Extra points if there's also an Israeli angle. Okay, let's keep reading. It goes on. The case was triggered by a failed contract killing in July of 2020, when 2 members of France's parachute regiment were arrested in possession of weapons near the home of business coach Marie-Helene Denis. Oh, let's pause. Parachute regiment. We should pull up a photo of these guys because I swear oh yeah, it's the Maroon Beret boys. And when they're in plain clothes, they wear maroon shirts. Yes, when they're trying to look like human beings, and you can look this up everywhere, they wear maroon shirts. You could hire these people for assassinations? What? That's so crazy. That's so crazy, because I swear there was a person who told you that, and then the media freaked out, but they hushed it up, right? I sent something to the FBI. I sent it to the White House. I told you this was real and that they were on the ground that day. Anyways, let's continue in our article. Quote, they told investigators that they believed that they had been asked to murder Denis on behalf of the French state, and they were targeting Denis on the grounds that she worked for the Israeli spy agency, the Mossad. Now, I'm going to stop there and tell you that I kind of believe them. I really do. I'm just throwing stuff at the wall here, but she probably maybe was working on behalf of the Mossad. And if those 3 businessmen, Freemasons, high up that organized her hit, if they had watched this show, they probably would have been aware of the fact that there is this persistent rumor that Brigitte Macron is actually Mossad. Beware the wives of. Beware the wives of. Again, it was a tip that we had received, so I can't say it's definitively, but the story that was shared with me about Brigitte's background was very on par with my research into his mysterious family origin, why he's wearing this wig. And in short, they had alleged that Brigitte's family was working on behalf of Israel for a very long time because they owed Israel a very big favor, because allegedly her family is really from Germany, which is what I was discovering. And they had been working on behalf of the Nazis, and it became a rather big story in the 50s, and the Israeli government cleaned it up for them. That's the short and the thick of it, that Brigitte's family has worked for Israel since. And now, yeah, she works for the president, and there are some stories about how she has allegedly betrayed France and Paris working on behalf of Israel. I say this only to assert that if it is true, and there's a lot of evidence that it could be, then I can assure you there will be no killing of Mossad agents in Paris while he is the first lady. So this plan got rumbled. The other people they were killing, they died. Then he went for a Mossad agent, and suddenly it got rumbled. And the businessman who called the hit on this alleged Mossad agent spy was Jean-Luc Bagur. He was the ringleader along with his other Freemasonic brothers, a guy named Frederick Vaglio and Daniel Ballou. Now, Daniel Ballou was a retired intelligence officer, and the hitmen say that Daniel is the one that told them that they were doing this on behalf of the government. And I believe him. I think we should listen to what Daniel has to say about hits for the government. But unfortunately, we cannot question Daniel because you're never going to guess what happened. Apparent suicide attempt while he was in prison. And so now he's impaired and he won't be able to testify as to whether or not he was murdering people for the French government. Classic, just a classic suicide attempt story right before we're about to learn something about the government. Now, to be clear, this is just their most recent crime and the one that got exposed. The Freemason Mafia, as the story will tell you, has carried out other killings, robberies, assaults to protect them and their business associates over the year. That's how the world works. I keep telling you this. These people are not smarter than you. They are just more evil and debased than you because they're willing to steal and they're willing to murder. And then on top of it, they're willing to look you in the face and gaslight you and be all cheesy, like 33, 33, 33. They don't like when people step on their toes in business. And do you know what the number one business in the world is? What business do you think makes the most money in the whole wide world? War. War does, okay? If you go to war, you are going to mass murder people. You're going to steal their land like they are doing in Gaza. Say you're going to turn it into a real estate empire like Jared Kushner and the Trumps are planning for Gaza. Look what we can do on top of these dead bodies. And you do those real estate deals like before October 7th. Just what an opportunity we have to make Gaza ours, and we don't have to pay a single dime to do that. That's how this stuff works. And on top of that, they traffic, they steal everybody's stuff. What do you think is generations of their family stuff buried beneath the rubble? Maybe you're going to steal jewelry and go start the Diamond District like the Bolsheviks did when they were mass murdering Christians. Oh, no, we're just successful. We just work hard. You're thieves and murderers. War is a big business. You don't want to step on the toes of the war racket. Now, somebody I know did do that back in June of last year. My friend Charlie Kirk stepped on the toes of Bibi Netanyahu and the CIA's war-for-profit machine. It never stops. It is a global trillion-dollar industry. These are the facts. And no, it is not a coincidence that everyone involved on September 10th happens to have a military connection, former military intelligence, Frank Turek, the McCoys, naval intelligence. It's not a coincidence that Kash Patel kept stressing the number 33. None of it is a coincidence. All of it feels like a conspiracy. And I will never stop saying that Charlie Kirk was the first casualty of the Iran war because he was betrayed, and the entire world knows it. And yeah, I'm proud of myself because I understand that one element of their games is exactly that, psychological warfare. The goal was to break me down psychologically, tell me as soon as Charlie gets killed that I better lay low, as Andrew Colvett did, because my name is on some list and I'm going to be next. That's meant to psychologically traumatize you, to make you afraid to go outside. I get it. Having everyone attack me immediately while I'm grieving. Let me tell you something. I am psychologically tougher than all of you. I've proven that. So I'm just going to throw it back here to when I told people that the DGSE in Paris was involved and had also put a hit on me. Here that is, which came in November, my old tweet. saying that I had a source inside of the French government, because I did, that told me that their NG intervention group was involved in the assassination. I said that Charlie Kirk's assassin trained with the French Legion 13th Brigade with multi-state involvement. Ha 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 ha, they said. That's so crazy. And yet nobody official denied it. Isn't that weird? Nobody official came out and denied it. Even weirder, I have an open case with Brigitte Macron. Now, if you're going to sue for defamation, the best thing to be doing is to have truth on your side. If Brigitte felt that I was lying about that and I was making that up, well, that'd be a good thing to add to your defamation case, right? No, because then I would have gone to people that are involved in this case and figured out, oh, you're killing for the government. It's interesting. Where else are you doing that? The United States government is not dumb enough. When they want to pull off an assassination, you go overseas. You have assassin squads and they rotate and they do things overseas. So maybe France uses American forces. Maybe American forces use French forces, Australia, who knows? We saw a lot that day. Australia, Russia, so many countries that were involved. The goal is to make you think that this is all implausible, that Freemasonry is not real, that it's a figment of the past, that people at the top don't kill. They're the number one killers, actually. Always have been. And they're lying about everything pertaining to Charlie Kirk's assassination. Which brings me to Erika Kirk, because I saw this old clip of her circulating from right before we met up, and it made me so angry. I just felt so much like a flood of anger overcame me. And it was her sit down with Bari Weiss, literally 72 hours before her and I sat down. And I just forgot that Bari Weiss asked her specifically whether or not she believed Tyler Robinson killed her husband. And listen to this terrible D-list actress. Take a listen.
Do you believe that Tyler Robinson murdered your husband?
Yes, I do.
Why do you think it is so hard for so many people to believe that reality?
Because it's too simple. Again, everyone always has to think there's more to the story. Well, sometimes there's not. I've seen the autopsy report. I've seen our case pulled together. I've been in constant contact with our lawyers, the prosecuting team. I've seen it all.
Evil. She is evil. When I watched that, I went, she's evil. I am so infuriated watching that back because she's lying. She's objectively lying and she's acting. She was told to say that to make people believe that she had access to something that we didn't, right? It was because of that clip that when I went in to meet with her, I was going, oh, okay, maybe she has something that the public doesn't. I spoke to them, I've been in touch with the lawyers, I've seen the autopsy report, and then I sit down with her 72 hours later, and she tells me, and her lawyer confirms to me, that they have nothing more than what the public has seen. In fact, her lawyer went through great lengths to explain to me that it was actually, that's just not the way it works. Of course they don't have anything more. He explained to me very carefully that it wasn't the right time for them to have any more evidence, that the investigation was just beginning. And so right now, their guys are going out and they're going to look for evidence. And then by May, which is fortunately around the corner, then she'll see what they found. So what the F is that performance? How could you sit up there and say, yes, I 100% believe Tyler Robinson did it? That right there is why it is impossible for me to think that Erika Kirk is not complicit somehow. Because what wife, with no more evidence, she's lying, like I said, she told me, I spoke to the lawyer too. He said he didn't know anything more. What wife would not say, I have no idea? I'm looking forward to seeing the evidence as much as anybody else is. Of course, maybe there could be more people out there. What's that? That is her being coached and sent to delude the public into believing that there was more and it wasn't so clear-cut when she knew that it wasn't. Evil. That's evil. And everybody involved in this on the Turning Point side, they're terrible actors just like her. And I'm going to include Frank Turek in that, who just recently went back to UVU. And he was very snippy with the audience. One person tried to say they heard the shot come from a different direction. He shut them down because they've already decided the narrative. He's not interested in getting to the bottom of what other people heard and know and could have been privy to. He shut that down. But it's also interesting that he communicated to them where Erika was the moment that she found out, or who she was with, rather the moment that she found out that Charlie was dead. Take a listen.
We're all standing in the hall. Doctor comes out. I can't get this voice out of my head. He's dead. No, I'm sorry. No, we tried everything with the tenderness of a brick. He's dead. I need to talk to Erika. Mikey's on the phone going. Somehow Mikey pulled himself together, called who needed to be called, asked the doctors all the hard questions, got a plane to get Erika. Stacy Sheridan, friend of Erika, was with her. Catherine LaCastro, another amazing TPUSA employee, was with her.
You know, it's just super interesting because Justin told me he arranged all the planes that day. So I don't know how Mikey arranged, what Justin arranged, or who's telling the truth. Does it even matter anymore? But at least, you know, it confirms that she was with Catherine LaCastro and Stacy. Catherine's this super young girl. And Stacy, when did Erika get so close with Mikey McCoy's assistant and Stacy Sheridan that they would be the two people that are with her when she finds out that her husband has died? Again, no family called to come rush to be by her side, but almost like this TPUSA cult of people, which is unnatural. It is completely unnatural not to want to be with your family during a time like that, which is why I would like to put out another APB, okay? I'm looking for more information regarding where Charlie Kirk was on July 14th, okay? Internet sleuths, look away. I can tell you, particularly I'm looking for, again, in the afternoon or in the evening. Now, I can tell you that morning, Charlie, the day before, was at SAS, Student Action Summit, and he had just flown back from a Student Action Summit, and he hosted his show on the morning of July 14th. He was under immediately a lot of pressure because on July 13th was Tuckergate. That's when Tucker got up and said some true things. He asked about where the heck Bill Ackman's money comes from. He said Bill Ackman is not impressive. A couple of weeks later, Bill Ackman would be hosting the notorious summit in the Hamptons, and that he started asking about Epstein. And Dave Smith had beat Josh Hammer in a debate. In fact, on this July 14th episode, Charlie has Josh Hammer on the episode. Asking about the evening because that evening of July 14th, Erika, who did not attend SAS in Florida, boarded a private plane with Catherine LaCastro. Again, that's Mikey McCoy's assistant. And she headed to Long Beach alongside Jonathan Barcelo. And Jonathan Barcelo is an interesting character because of his background. Of course, he's a Marine in the Marine Corps from 2013, at least up until 2017. He was providing security to the Marine Corps to their various embassies throughout the world. I think you're supposed to do 3 embassies. You're securing like state secrets or something. Particularly, I can only find that he was stationed in Chile. He also worked as a helicopter technician for an attack squadron. Then from 2017 to 2022, he worked as a private investigator, ran a private investigative firm. And during that time, he graduates from ASU, all the best people do, with a major in forensic psychology. And then suddenly he gets a job working in donations as a development operations administrator at Turning Point USA. And then he becomes a donors operations manager. And then he flips and becomes security. It's a bit wacky. Why is everybody feel like a military infiltration at Turning Point USA? How do you go from like securing state secrets or protecting state secrets at embassies to suddenly like I'm in donations at Turning Point and also doing security? For whom? For whom? Like, I have questions, and I'm going to ask every question. I'd like to know more. I want to know what he was doing traveling with Erika on July 14th to Long Beach with Mikey McCoy's assistant, who is very young, and Erika's personal security guard, Derek Kirk. What are the 4 of them doing together? They only stayed for a couple of hours, and then they returned to Scottsdale, so it was clearly a meeting of some description. I want to know everything that happened after Charlie's showdown with Bibi. I have a right to know everything that happened from June onward, because none of this is a conspiracy. None of this is a coincidence, like I said. Okay, we don't have the wife. I believe he did it. Putting on a performance, selling us all of that. We're so far past ridiculous. Laughing at the Egyptian what could Israel have to do with France? What are we talking about? The French military doing assassinations for Freemasons. And here we are today. Okay, this is how it works. Charlie was taken out. He was stepping on the toes of very powerful people who were going to make a lot of money off of this Iran war. And guess what? They're getting their war. Trump is now going to put boots on the ground in Iran. Have you heard? He's sending Marines. Boots on the ground for Bibi. But the IDF won't be joining. The IDF has said they're not going to put boots on the ground. It's better for the Goyim to die. The Goyim must die so that Israel can keep expanding its borders. We can see who's in charge. Anyway, we will be right back after a brief break. All right, you guys, you see the headlines, you read the stories, and then the impact shows up in your own numbers. Balances rising and fees piling up. Minimum payments are designed to stretch debt out for years. That's why you need to check out PDS Debt. Whether you're struggling with credit cards, personal loans, or medical bills, PDS Debt has custom options to help you get out of debt. They go beyond the numbers to understand your unique financial situation and to craft a personalized plan that's designed just for you. There is no minimum credit score that's required. They're here to help you save more, pay off your debt faster, and start putting money back where it belongs, which is in your pocket. PDS Debt is A+ rated by the Better Business Bureau. It boasts thousands of 5-star reviews on Google, and it holds a 5-star rating on Trustpilot. Why? Because PDS has helped hundreds of thousands of people get out of debt. Every month you wait, it costs you more interest and fees. The best time to start was yesterday. The second best is right now. When the numbers are clear, you should act. Take back control in 30 seconds. Get your free personalized assessment and the best option for you by visiting pdsdebt.com/Candace. Again, that's pdsdebt.com/Candace. And I also want to tell you guys about Tax Network USA, because maybe you owe back taxes, maybe you have unfiled returns, or maybe you've filed every year, but you still keep owing somehow. Maybe you retired and suddenly you got hit with a tax bill that you didn't expect, or pulled money out of your 401k or IRA early, and now the IRS wants their share. However your tax issue started, the outcome is always the same. Your balance is not going down, penalties are growing, and interest compounds. And many of you are about to owe again for this upcoming tax year with no plan in place. So stop what you're doing and call Tax Network USA. With over 15 years in business, there hasn't been a tax case that they haven't seen or resolved. They specialize in tax controversies, and they help taxpayers nationwide get back on track by resolving back taxes and unfiled returns once and for all. So whether you owe $10,000 or $10 million, their team has resolved over $1 billion in tax debt. They're offering a free investigative call with the IRS. And after that investigation, they'll put a clear plan in place to resolve your tax problem and to get you back on track. So don't wait for another IRS letter or a frozen bank account. Call 866-686-1651 or visit tnusa.com/Candace. Again, that's tnusa.com/Candace. So this is interesting. Sheriff Nate Brooksby has resigned suddenly. He had like a COVID resignation, died suddenly, resigned suddenly. Okay, and that's the Washington County Sheriff. Just to jog your memory here, Nate Brooksby was the guy that initially came out. It was to the Washington County Sheriff's Department that allegedly Tyler had turned himself in, right? He resigned, and now there's an interim sheriff in place. And there's, like I said, they're in the middle of an election. So now they're down to a single candidate. The resignation occurred on Friday, and there has not been a public statement given for this out of nowhere resignation. But over the weekend, his name was quietly removed from the sheriff's office website and social media pages, and there was a lot of speculation. And I saw that some people said that there was going to be more information that was coming out. Now, my instinct is that there's going to be some corruption. He's gotten involved in something and he has to quietly resign. Like if you're in the middle of an election, they're usually digging up dirt on you. They may have found something. I am wondering if this might have something to do with Tyler Robinson and the Charlie Kirk case. I don't know for certain, but I'm interested. In a statement that was released by the Washington County Commission, the officials confirmed that he had tendered his resignation on Friday and that he announced his retirement, noting that he had served in law enforcement for more than 30 years. So that's interesting. I do want to jog your memory, though, because I was sitting here going, one of the biggest lies that makes me so angry that people keep repeating, and there is no truth to this. There's no truth to this, is that Tyler Robinson's dad handed him in, that Tyler Robinson confessed to the crime. And there's not a shred of proof to this. First and foremost, it does not pass the common sense test, okay? Common sense. If I say that I am guilty of something and I turn myself in and I say I did it, the first thing they make you do at any police station is sign a statement. That is your confession. I did this. I am guilty. Signed Tyler Robinson. And then you hand that in, and there we go. We got it. Has anybody watched like the first 48? Anybody used to watch like TLC shows? Get educated. Okay, this is how it goes down at police stations. You're guilty. You sign a statement. And the same would be true, by the way, if his father had handed him in. Okay, that would be a witness statement. You would say, I saw so-and-so, whatever, and this is my statement. None of this has been presented as evidence. And said, I was going, where did this idea come from that he had signaled that he was guilty? And I thought, was it Sheriff Brooksby? Because I told you that I had a source that was very close to Tyler Robinson's family. And the story goes that Tyler Robinson repeatedly said that he was not guilty, that he was surprised when he was confronted by the family friend, who we know is Mike Mitchell, who used to work for the sheriff's department, but Tyler Robinson knows him because he was his Boy Scouts coach or whatever. I don't know how Boy Scouts work, his Boy Scouts leader or whatever. And so he was the one that said to him, they have your prints on a gun and like, it's going to be easier this way. And he went to his house and said, two options here. They're going to burst through the door. You're going to get the SWAT team. You're going to have guns to the faces of you, your mother, your father, or you're going to go and peacefully see what they have. And he's like, I didn't do it. Those are your options, bud. And that is the reason that Tyler Robinson went to the police station. And miraculously, we have no footage of that day. And I think the reason why they're saying there's no footage is because there's this narrative that he turned himself in and that his father thought he was guilty. It's a lie. It is a lie. Shame on people that are repeating this lie and trying to establish a patsy in this case. I am at the point that with all of the proof that I have, the people that I have spoken to that were intimately involved in this case, I would willfully sit on the defense side and say, this person told me that the feds planted the gun. This person told me that the bomb dogs couldn't find it. How can you sit back and pretend that you are like a friend of Charlie Kirk because you're trying to get a patsy put into prison? Like, you guys are completely monstrous and pretending that you're on the side of morality. Like I said, I have recorded and documented every piece of this case. I have been meticulous about this. There is an overwhelming, they love to use that word, there was an overwhelming amount of evidence that the feds set this kid up as a patsy. Okay? Everyone in the town, all the local sheriff departments, the SWAT team, they believe that the feds came in and they started lying and they were sending people on wild goose chase and they, said the gun was here and they said it was over there. There was no gun. They didn't want the bomb dogs to go into certain places. Like I said, I am not getting this information from people that do not have the credibility to assert that. That's how I got the pictures inside of the car. Okay, I am speaking to people with firsthand intimate knowledge, and they all believe that the feds set this up. So how are there people out there saying otherwise? Why wouldn't I testify for the defense? I want to find Charlie's real killer. I don't want to find some random kid that they're sticking this on. It's not Tyler Robinson. Tyler Robinson did not do this alone. I feel the opposite of how Erika Kirk felt sitting next to Barry Weiss. With everything I have collected, I feel the exact opposite as Charlie Kirk's wife. I feel almost certain that Tyler Robinson did not shoot, I would say I feel 99.9% certain that Tyler Robinson did not shoot Charlie Kirk from a rooftop by himself. How about that? I'm going to say 0.1% because, I don't know, you just should never say 100% unless you're, Erika Kirk's lawyers. 100%, we'll get him. We're just going to go on vibes. No, you're going on corruption, not vibes. What she feels 100% confident about, is that there is a bunch of people who will lie for her. She's got a police force behind her. She's got 33 behind her. She's got the White House, Scott Bessent, that'll publish letters saying that they're so upstanding and so moral, right? That's what she feels 100% certain of, is that she's connected to the billionaire class of Epstein-type people who lie about everything. Me, I follow the facts, and Tyler Robinson did not do this. He's not a lone gunman on a rooftop, okay? So I challenge you. I challenge any person, like I've done over and over again, if you feel so 100% overwhelmed by the evidence that Tyler Robinson did this, please come sit in this studio and debate me. I need someone to debate on this. Because the best you have is, well, Kash Patel said 33, and Governor Cox, who had nothing to do with the arrest or the, I should just say, they just apprehended him, of Tyler Robinson. He had nothing to do with it. He did a press conference. In fact, Sheriff Brooksby, who just resigned, actually tells the truth about how Tyler Robinson was turned in. Listen to the words he is saying. He is saying what I have told you. Basically, that this Mike Mitchell guy came in, there was pressure, and Tyler Robinson then agreed to go into the police station because he didn't want to be shot and murdered by SWAT teams. Take a listen to Sheriff Brooksby.
At exactly 8:02 on the 11th, I received a call from a friend of mine who happens to be a retired detective that worked for me for many years. I didn't put that out there initially. I wanted to protect that individual as much as possible. Unfortunately, in the court documents, which is standard, he was referenced as a retired Washington County deputy. So I didn't put that out there. It was in the court docs. I was trying to protect even that information and just saying retired law enforcement in general. So I get a call from my friend, and his said, "Hey, how you doing?" Good. And it's not, he's been retired a few years. We'll call each other. It's not unusual for me to get a call from him or vice versa. And at 8:02 p.m., he calls me. Hey, I can tell his voice is kind of shaky. So my first thought is, who died? Like who's he going to tell me that died? And then I couldn't fathom what actually came out of his mouth. So he said, "Hey, I know who Charlie Kirk shooter is. I know the family through religious association, and he's in Washington County now, and we're working on trying to get him to come in voluntarily." During that phone call, some information was provided about Tyler potentially having some suicidal ideations, was en route to a remote area of Washington County. The parents convinced him not to do that, and conveyed that they would stand by him and help him surrender peacefully.
Oh, okay. So that's the version of what I heard. And that makes the single most crucial person, and by the way, flies in the face of the fact he later on says he went in because he didn't want to get shot and have the SWAT team at his house. So if he had suicide ideation, why would Mike Mitchell tell you that? The single most important person, this is Mike Mitchell. Who is Mike Mitchell? Who is Mike Mitchell? The best I could tell, it seems like he was working undercover, like child porn type crimes on the internet, which is kind of a theme in this story. Who is Mike Mitchell? Who is the Boy Scout leader, Mike Mitchell? I have questions about him. Because I think, and I'm putting this out here, I'm speculating here, I don't have proof of this, I think he was working with the feds on trying to get Tyler and putting this on Tyler. I believe that Mike Mitchell was the one who went there. He knew who Tyler was. He went there and coaxed him into going. His father, by the way, never, ever, ever said his son did this. I have had communications with people. I've told you this from the beginning. My sources are solid. He does not believe that the person looks like his son that is coming up the staircase. By the way, we, the public, agree with that. It's not like his dad's got special eyes. The picture looks nothing like Tyler Robinson coming up the staircase. It looks actually a lot more like Robbie Hill coming up the staircase. And they say, he recognized him on this. Where did we hear all of this from? Who told us this? Who came up with all of these narratives that are in the press? The feds, the same people, the SWAT team, the local police are all saying the feds are behind this. Kash Patel, delayed. We got him. It was the Qureshi person. We got him. Making people stop looking, sending everybody on wild goose hunts. Kash Patel is central in delaying everything that happened on that day. You have now Joe Kent telling you that he stopped him from investigating things internationally. For what reason? Why is Turning Point not outraged about that? Why are they instead upset with Joe Kent? Why are they not angry at Kash Patel? Why are they hosting Kash Patel on the Charlie Kirk show and angry at Joe Kent? Do I live in upside down world, or are all of these people guilty? I'm going to go with the latter. All of these people are guilty and working together is what it seems to be to me and the much more rational public. I get it. 33's got a lot of money, so you're going to get the stupid influencers out there trying to make you subscribe to Idiocracy. But remember that one press conference where they were all performative and saying 33 and we got them? Yeah, that was Governor Cox. And like I said, he is the one that seeded the public with this lie, this repeated lie. He had no access to Tyler Robinson. He was not there the night that he was apprehended. He is not going to say what Sheriff Brooksby, who he's Washington County Police, right? He's the Washington County Sheriff. He's not going to say what he says. He's the one that puts on the performance with cash and says he turned himself in and he confessed to the crime after 33 hours. That's where this got started. Governor Cox is a bad man. I'm telling you that right now. Governor Cox is a very bad man. And I believe that he is also complicit in telling lies about how Tyler Robinson was apprehended. Take a listen to what Governor Cox said.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. We got him. On the evening of September 11th, a family member of Tyler Robinson reached out to a family friend who contacted the Washington County Sheriff's Office with information that Robinson had confessed to them or implied that he had committed the incident. This information was relayed to the Utah County Sheriff's Office and scene investigators at Utah Valley University. This information was also conveyed to the FBI.
Yeah. And to the left of him, who's that? That's a Fed, right? The one who just got the job. It's a Fed. And then you got that sheriff guy who also acts or whatever, or is in some show, maybe some reality show. It's like everything about that picture is wrong. Governor Cox is a problem. And when I went back and looked at what Nate Brooksby said, he was honest in his delivery about how things came together, that Tyler was under pressure. He also, when he gets later on in the story about how he turned himself over, never says that he signed a statement, never says that he said he was guilty, never said that his dad said he was guilty. He said that Mike Mitchell told him his dad recognized him. But we got to talk to Mike Mitchell. Mike Mitchell is now speaking on behalf of Matt Robinson. Did Mike Mitchell sign a statement at the police station? Mike Mitchell is a suspicious individual. We need more information about Mike Mitchell. He was trying to cover him immediately. He didn't want to say his name. No, say his name. He should be sitting trial. We should be able to see him. People should be able to ask him questions. The defense and the offense, right? I mean, let's roll the clip of him saying like what when he came into the police station or whatever we have left of Nate Brooksby.
Within the hour, my friend drove Tyler and his parents to my office, where he was greeted by plainclothes detectives. So that was part of the deal. Is Tyler knew it was just inevitable with all the law enforcement pressure that his picture in the news, the gun on the news. He knew it was inevitable that he would be caught. He was fearful of a SWAT team hit on his house, or he was fearful of being shot by law enforcement. So part of the negotiation and getting him to bring himself in was that we would treat it as delicate and as soft as possible to make him feel comfortable to where he would show up at my office, and that's exactly what happened.
There you go. Doesn't sound like a person that's guilty. You don't have to make a deal with someone that's guilty and overmounting pressure to get him to come in. And so I just wanted to point that out, that we need to go back to the beginning and realize who were the actors that put on the performance, that handed out these talking points. And then they say, oh, the messages. Has Tyler said that those are his messages? Has Tyler confirmed that he authored those messages? Has Tyler been arraigned yet? Has Tyler entered in a plea? So who are all these frauds out here telling you he's guilty, that the evidence is overwhelming? I'll tell you who they are. They're people that have betrayed Charlie. They betrayed his legacy. They betrayed what he believed in. And they're doing it for money. Let's just be frank. They're all doing it for money. Anyway, I want to do a shout out here to the disgusting Lindsey Graham, who's just a traitor. He's treacherous. He's disgusting. And he's also disgusting for going to Disney World. He is the last person that I want to see at Disney World, especially all of the Freemasonic rumors about what happens in the 33 Club. I believe all of the Disney kids. I believe all of them. Yes, Walt Disney was a Freemason. So you should wake up to that. He definitively was a Freemason. And the stories about the 33 Club and what goes on in there, and also the tunnels at Disney, I'm a subscriber to that conspiracy theory. I think it's gross. He had breakfast at Chef Mickey's. He was there for 3 days. He's what is he doing? I just want nothing to do with Lindsey Graham at Disney World. I don't want Lindsey Graham having access to kids. In fact, typically when we hear about Lindsey Graham and children, wants them blown up in various countries around the world. And he lied about where he was. And so TMZ caught him. He said he only went and stopped by. Then he was there for 3 days. I just want to say Lindsey Graham in general is disgusting. I don't want him anywhere near children. I don't know what is in his blackmail file. But with the way that he speaks and performs, look at him holding like a bubble toy. He's just a creep. Everything about this man gives me the ick. If you have any intuition, you have any sense, anything guiding you spiritually, you know that everything is wrong with Lindsey Graham. I just want to say that's my personal opinion. We'll be right back after a break. All right, you guys, your health begins with the air that you breathe every minute of every single day. Most people don't realize that indoor air can be 5 times more polluted than outdoor air. The Triad Air V3 Whole Home Air Purification System by airwaterhealing.com is scientifically engineered to go far beyond traditional air purifiers. By actively neutralizing mold spores, bacteria, viruses, and airborne toxins at the molecular level, Airwater Healing helps you restore your indoor environment to a clean, breathable state. It doesn't just trap toxins in the air, it cleans and sanitizes the air that you breathe. The Triad Air V3 requires no filter replacements, saving you thousands of dollars over time while delivering superior whole home protection. Thousands of people are turning to Airwater Healing as one of the most trusted destinations in the world for high quality wellness products. Right now, they're offering something that you don't see often. When you purchase the large V3 whole home air purifier and you use code Candace, you'll receive $300 in free gifts. That includes a plug-in purifier, which is perfect for travel or hotel rooms, plus a portable unit for your car so you're covered wherever you go. So visit airwaterhealing.com and don't forget to use code Candace at checkout. Also, I want to ask the question, have you ever tried keeping up with crypto? It moves all the time, midnight, 2 a.m., 3 a.m., the market never sleeps. And if you're like most people, you probably do. So here's the problem. Most crypto platforms just give you an account and say good luck, but that's not really investing, that's guessing. That's why I want you to know about Trust IRA, which is a crypto IRA designed for everyday Americans, especially if you're new to crypto or you don't have time to watch the charts all day. Their system uses smart AI technology to monitor the market 24/7, automatically adjusting your portfolio to help manage risk and protect your gains when things get volatile. So instead of reacting emotionally or missing big moves while you sleep, it's handled for you. Your savings sits inside of a $200 million institutional grade insurance shield. So you're not just investing, you're doing it with a layer of protection as well. If you've been curious about crypto but didn't know where to start, this is a simple way to begin. Right now, you can open a crypto IRA and get up to $2,500 inflation shield bonus added to your account. So just go to CandaceCrypto.com to learn more and get started. Again, that's CandaceCrypto.com. All right. So top comments from last episode. We have Andrew, Jude, Thaddeus. Many of you actually wrote this in the comments, and I can't even believe I missed it. This is regarding the New York Times article, which Erika did a few days after Charlie's assassination. Andrew writes, learning your husband was assassinated and immediately thinking, beautiful day, I'm glad it was pretty for him, is the most psychotic and repulsive thing I've heard in a while. Honestly, everything she did and said was so crazy that I didn't even clock that until you guys in the comments said that you're referring to. And I should have had you pull this, Ash, but because Ashley, my producer, she was reading the article and she was just like amazed going through it, finding new things. And I forgot that when they asked her the question, because she implied that she was on the plane when she found out that he got assassinated, or that's what the New York Times said, she was on the plane. And then she said, I just looked out the window and I was so grateful that it was like such a beautiful day. And this was one of his last things that he saw. I'm paraphrasing here. If you pull it up, Ash, let me know. But the point is like, what? I don't care if it is like the most beautiful, incredible, scenic day when somebody is horrifically and unexpectedly assassinated in front of the entire world. I can't tell you what the weather was in Tennessee on the day that Charlie Kirk was assassinated. I can't tell you. It didn't matter because I was in a hole crying hysterically. Right? That was it. I was completely like, I cannot tell you because it was a rainy day, no matter what, where I was. I literally have no recollection. I can't even tell you. I cannot tell you. That is how much of a blur it was. And I totally forgot. Maybe second only or on the same track as Alex Clark. She was like, she said she was on a plane too. And she was like, the first thing I thought was like, too bad. The second thing I thought was MAGA. Like it was totally bonkers. I was like, the second thing you thought was MAGA? Really? We've got to make America great again harder. Like, what's wrong with these people? What is running Turning Point USA? It's not who, it's what. What spirits, what demonic spirit, what demonic force is at bay there? Like, something's not right. And you guys were so correct on that. Beautiful day outside. At least it was sunny skies. He had a nice view when they took him out, when the Freemasons took him out. That's what I thought when I was looking on the plane. Holly House was the second top comment. She writes, remember back when, before we didn't know that our leaders were all kid trafficking, Satan worshiping, child molesting cannibals? Those were the days. Yeah, I remember that. You're right. Oh, getting a little sentimental. I do remember those days when I thought like everything, like they were like good people at the top and you should aspire to want to be with them. Like when I thought it was like cool when I met some of these people, you know, I'm like, literally, I want nothing to do with them. It's like they gross me out. Like I don't even like, ugh, genuinely would not even spit in their direction. I am so disgusted with the people at the top. Oh yeah, they're going to pull a New York Times article. Mr. Kirk's chartered plane traveled back to Scottsdale to ferry his wife to Provo. He was pronounced dead as she was airborne. Quote, I'm looking at the clouds and the mountains, Ms. Kirk recalled of those surreal hours. It was such a gorgeous day. And I was thinking, this is exactly what he last saw. Like, it's so much. It's so hard being me. Just like, it's so hard. You guys, I think I was just surrounded by clinical, insane people in politics. I can't even like, what? Oh gosh, guys, please stop pointing it out. I can't deal with it. I can't. It's all so subhuman in a way. I don't like it or other. I don't even know if it's sub. It's just not, right? Like I wouldn't call like a reptile a subhuman. I just be like, oh, it's not human. It's just not human. It's a reptile. Like that, it's like a different species. These people are, I think. Anyway, comments from today's episode. Shenanigans writes, I believe you are fighting for truth like me. Thank God for my Catholic aunt who made me realize I am not an outsider. I can talk to Jesus anytime that I want. It's been very interesting as I learn more and more about Freemasonry. This is the first book club book that I'm reading with the book club. It was on my desk and I wanted to read it for a while. And I was like, I'm just going to read it with you. And it just got super interesting getting into the history of these Freemasonic groups and how all roads lead to 33, France. But it's always been a war on the Catholic Church. And so I wasn't expecting this to be about Catholicism at all. And we somehow, and in each book, they're like, we hate Catholics and we will crush them and we will, wear the mask of Christianity because that's what they were doing. But they were not like, I'm not going to rant on it, but join the book club is what I'm saying. Join the book club. Go to CandaceOwens.com, join the book club, buy some merch, Shabbat Shalom with us. You can wear your merch to the book club. We do need book club merch. I need to get on that. I forgot you guys asked me to do that. I will do that. I promise. Make him a sandwich, which is, I love you guys that are writing me emails about it. It was a really, really fun book to read. To write, and it's taken me like years actually to write it. Really long backstory to that. We should probably read that in the book club, actually. Make him a sandwich. All right, back to your comments for today's episode. Corey Henry writes, so all these people at the top are resigning for what? They have info and they have morals. Joe Kent, the police at Orem resigned. They know something and maybe they can't lie anymore. Like I said, my sources are solid. I feel confident that Tyler Robinson did not do it alone on a rooftop. And the people that are saying that, for some reason, don't want to debate that. They don't want to actually publicly debate what this case is, what it's not, who my sources are, what I know. I know this inside and out of what happened on that day. And I know that when the feds got there, things got weird. Things got very weird. And they believe the feds planted the evidence, the bare minimum evidence that they have, which is they keep saying the gun. The gun had multiple sets of prints on it, about, I think, 7 sets of prints on it. Not that hard to take somebody's gun. They cannot prove that that gun was fired and killed Charlie Kirk. They cannot connect that gun to Charlie Kirk. So I don't care if the feds found a gun that wasn't fired. It wasn't fired because the bomb dogs went over there and they didn't find the gun. So there's that. Stop being stupid on the internet. Stop saying stupid stuff. I don't care what they're paying you. Okay? I don't care if the 33 Club is paying the $7,000 club. Just stop being moronic on the internet. We all know you're dumb. We all know you're paid. You're actually all just a bunch of prostitutes, as far as I'm concerned. You're all a bunch of prostitutes. You're just on the internet, typing stuff, all saying the same sentence in a different way. It's over. I'm so overwhelmed. I'm having a heart attack. It's so overwhelming. There's so much evidence. There's no evidence. Shut up. Stop saying that. It's the end of Lent, and I just don't, I genuinely want to be calm this week getting out of Lent. I really do. I'm going to be nice to everybody. You don't have to shut up. I just prefer you say nothing. That's a better way of saying that. Please say nothing. It's better. Erika Ray writes, why is TPUSA, an organization of such faith, praying the justice for Charlie, being so nonchalant and refusing to surrender the prayers God is answering with all the information that has come to light? Because they hate us they hate everyone who has brought the information to light. They hate us. They are behind every attack. Remember last week I was like, what are all these attacks? I was being called a Russian agent by Alexis Wilkins. By the way, speaking of Jacques Dumoulin, yes, the Dumoulin Club, which still goes on. That's like the teenage, like from 16 to 21, you're in the Freemasonic club all throughout California. That's her granddad was a Freemason. Her dad was in the Dumoulin Club. Her aunt was in the Dumoulin Club. I don't know why she's lying about that. It's weird. Okay. It's like in the newspaper. It's nothing you can just like deny. But yeah, she was attacking me, like with this whole Catholic conspiracy to Russia. I had house in needs to be in rehab coming after me. With all sorts, she was using AI images of my husband with Milo. Like it was insane. And then I was like, who is behind all of this? Who is behind all of? And then I find out House and Habits dealing with Andrew Colbert, and I was like, okay, Turning Point's upset again. They send the lowest IQ people, like just like people that you have to lower yourself and have nothing left in the PR realm. You have no tricks left. When you go to Laura Loomer and say, can you attack someone? You are just scraping the bottom of the barrel. Laura Loomer and House and Habit, you've hit the bottom. There's no way. You can't go lower than that. They're attacking the people who are investigating this. They could very easily clarify things and make people understand they had nothing to do with anything. They could just give up all their phones that day. Let us see them. We didn't do that. Somebody thought that I had something to do with the murder of my best friend or my husband or someone that I worked with. I'd be like, here's my phone, take it. Somebody just published everything that I did. Somebody suspecting me. You guys want my phone on the day Charlie Kirk was assassinated? Take it. Why would I be spending millions on PR? Why would I be hiring a crisis PR firm? Where were you sitting at my table working on my show? Savannah came downstairs and said Charlie had been shot. What did you go for? I went into the office, my husband's office, and I prayed, and then I cried for the rest of the day. I called Tucker Carlson, called Andrew Colbert, texted with both of them, figure out what was going on, found out he was dead, cried for the rest of the day, got into bed. Like, what's so hard about that? Why is this so hard for you? Why are you paying money to go after Joe Kent and Candace Owens? And what are you guys doing? I know you're being guilty. You're being extraordinarily guilty of something. Jen Travis writes, Candace really out here casually flexing her We Know Standis cup like it's not. This is sold out? I really didn't know. What? Skylar, pull up the website. What? Like forever? Should we do like a soft drop, like maybe like 100 more or something? I'll talk to the boss man upstairs. The boss man's my husband. I'll see what he says. I'm sorry about that. The rest of us are cupless and struggling. Dang. I'm so sorry, Jen Travis. That's not right. It's not right. I'll talk to George about that. Linda LaBelle writes, today marks the anniversary of Jesus flipping over tables in the temple. Okay, so it was fine that I just freaked out. That was fine. That's what I was marking. I was marking the anniversary of Jesus flipping over tables in the temple. So we were fine to be upset today. I probably should have worn the battle bun, to be honest. Erika Ray writes, I already read yours. Oxytocin writes, go Max always, Candace. I wonder if you've heard anything about Israel possibly spying on X users. Israel runs X, guys. I mean, can you not see that they're just a bunch of Israeli bots? It's like insane. War. It's like Lindsey Graham times 2 million. I tweeted about Charlie Kirk and discovered that my name and my X handle were being Googled in Israel right after. Yes, I forgot. I actually know the exact way that that the X has a deal with Israel. I have to be reminded. I have to go through some of my text messages. Somebody told me about that. But the answer is yes. If you're on X, it's Israel. It's like a little Israel. Yeah, anyways, Cavern Saga, I think this is the last comment. Whether you believe it or not, the symbolism is too consistent to be a coincidence. Fellow content creator here, I love finding podcasters who speak their mind. Yeah, of course, the symbolism is crucial to Freemasonry. It matters to them, the revelation of the method, telling you what they're going to do, making jokes. They're like totally deranged and they're psychopathic. And, you know, even that witch article, which for some reason they're not interested in. I know that'd be an interesting thing to explore. Who wrote this article? I traced it back to the Philippines, who made the website. Somebody in the Philippines made the website where the spell was cast on Charlie's life, the spell that he was definitely not losing sleep over the night before. That's absurd. If you knew Charlie, that is absurd. The amount of articles that were written about him by crazy lefty loonies, he would have laughed that off. But that's the story we're told. He was so worried, he called a priest over to pray, even though he wasn't Catholic. He didn't go to, he hated Catholic. He just, no, he only liked the architecture unless a spell was being put on him by a lefty. Then he wanted a priest to come pray over him or something. I don't know. They can't keep their story straight. But it's okay because I'm here to keep their stories straight for them. Anyway, you guys, we'll see you tomorrow.